Welcome back, everyone. So in the last video we were able to capture sector 46, and in this video we are going to go through the sector and see what kind of loot we can find from this sector. So first of all, let's take a look. Yeah, there's Beretta ammunition, so maybe Hurl will take some of those.
Sure.
And a grenade. Maybe
a fifth.
Yeah, I think that Ivan needs to try to take that.
A fifth.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
let's bring Ivan here.
Хорошо.
He's the best explosives guy in our team since Larry unfortunately got killed during the day.
A grenade.
Yeah, so he was able to retrieve his grenade without any kind of problems. And here we have both money and... okay, so some enemies are attacking our sector. Yeah, but it seems that our guys are going to be able to handle them pretty easily. Yeah, nice work, guys. So,
Yes, sir.
which one of our guys actually needs this kind of sniper scope? Well, at least Hurl doesn't have one, so let's give one to him.
A snipe.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this money, let's see how much money there is.
$50.
$50, okay. So, yeah. So basically we can keep it other than Hamos.
Yeah. Yo.
So does anyone have like free inventory space?
Yeah. Yo. Yeah.
Maybe someone could put like this gas mask on. If someone doesn't have like
Yes, sir.
goggles or something. Yeah. Okay, Hurl can take this gas mask
Yeah.
from Grunty.
Right.
And that way we have one more inventory space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Grunty can take this money.
Right. 50.
And do we have anything else here? We of course have these oil canisters, and also there was this crowbar. So that might be something that we would be interested actually.
Okay.
Because this crowbar is already just like 65%, so it's not in perfect shape at all.
Okay.
So maybe Hamos can like quickly run.
Okay. Okay.
Don't get stuck.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so he can run here and take a look at this
Okay.
crowbar. So if it's in better condition, then Hamos can take it, and we can leave this other crowbar behind.
Okay. A crowbar.
Yeah, it's better. So we just leave this here, and
Okay.
now we have a little bit better crowbar.
Okay.
And maybe Hamos can also take a look at these equipment that are still here.
Nothing.
If there's like anything useful here.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Yeah, all these things are pretty much ruined, so
Okay.
I guess there's nothing here, but let's just go through it anyway. Here's some cabinet that looks pretty much...
something.
What's that? Ah, another pipe.
Okay.
Wow. So it was a good idea to
A chunk.
search through this place a little bit more carefully.
Okay.
Now let's take a look at this cabinet also if we can.
Nothing.
Okay, there's
Okay.
nothing. And maybe
Okay.
these cauldrons or whatever these are called.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing special. But yeah, this steel pipe, that was
Okay.
a very, very good thing to get that.
Okay.
And also, maybe Hamos can go and, or Ivan rather, because he has like this knife, so he can go and swim to this little island and take a look if there's something interesting there. Is there anything interesting?
Хорошо, 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 хорошо.
No.
Хорошо, хорошо.
Maybe he can also walk
Хорошо,
here
хорошо.
and just take a look if there's any boxes or anything.
Хорошо, хорошо. Хорошо, хорошо.
Yeah,
Хорошо, хорошо. Хорошо, хорошо.
nothing special whatsoever.
Хорошо, хорошо.
Okay. So, I'm rather sure that we don't have enough time to go through another sector. So I will just save the game here, and we can compress time and end the day this way. And yeah,
Yo.
we found some nice items here, so I'm pretty satisfied. So I will compress time now. And that was the end of day 13. Yeah, those enemies got 2 reinforcement units there, so that was really the reason why we had such strong opposition there.
It's Brenda's blouse, all right. As uneasy as finding it makes me feel, it also leads me to believe that we may be close to finding her.
Yeah, so it was Brenda's blouse. So maybe this could mean like that we are actually in the... we have gone into right kind of direction, so maybe Brenda is being held somewhere close here. So, yeah, I guess that was a good plan to come here. And in the next day we can continue searching for her from these sectors that I mentioned in the previous videos. And yeah, the result was outstanding. Only 2 native deaths and 28 killed enemies. So yeah, this was a very, very successful day, even though Larry got killed. We got 1 health. Yeah. So do we now bury Larry and give this $1,000 away, or do we just throw his corpse to the sharks? This is always a tough decision. I mean, now our financial situation is a little bit better, so I think that we might actually give this Larry's corpse a proper burial. And also, I think that someone mentioned in the comment section that Larry is a friend of Ivan, so maybe if we just dish his corpse to the sharks, then Ivan might get upset and maybe he would even want to resign, or we would have to raise his salary, so that doesn't sound like a very good idea either. So maybe in Larry's case we could, you know, like give him a proper burial for a change. Yeah, so let's do that. So and now at least our guys are happy that we gave him a proper burial. And so we don't have to worry about them wanting any pay raises or anything like that. So let's proceed forward. And I will save the game. Yeah, let's put the save here. So it's going to be day 14. And now actually I have a question for you guys, since now we are in need of 2 new mercenaries at least, because we lost Larry, who was our other medical guy, and he was also our explosives expert. So we need to hire a new explosives expert as well as a new medic. And since Hurl is not a very competent medic whatsoever, I think that we are going to keep Hurl as our field medic, and we might hire some, you know, like a very competent medic for our team to take care of all the injured guys at our base. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the alternatives that we have for these positions. So the first of all, one very good option would be Needle. I mean, he's kind of expensive, but I mean his attributes are very good, and also his medical skill is just one of the best in the entire game. So I think that Needle would be a very good option for us, and I think that at this present financial situation we would also have, you know, afford to pay him his lucrative salary. And one other thing that we need to take into consideration when hiring new mercenaries is that we are really running low on medical supplies, so we really need to hire someone who has these kind of medical items in their inventory. So Needle at least has this medical kit, and he also has a first aid kit, so that would really help us in getting more medical supplies. But yeah, let's take a look at some other mercenaries. So yeah, Smoke would actually be a very good choice for an explosives expert. I mean, his explosive skill is 90, which is one of the best in the game, and he's also quite agile. His agility is very good, and dexterity also, and he's actually a pretty decent marksman to boot. So I think that Smoke would be a very good choice for a explosives expert, and his salary is also relatively low, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. And another thing that is really good about Smoke is that he has this shielded vest.
An ultra shield vest.
Yeah, ultra shield vest. And that is like a armor that goes into the place of this backpack, and it doesn't have any kind of slots where you can put inventory items. But when you equip this shield vest, it's really going to boost your armor, your mercenary's armor class very significantly. So we could, for instance, give this shielded vest to Ivan, and he could also use this 3-dot Spectre shield vest. And that way his armor class would be like totally off the charts, and he could basically take an absurd amount of punishment, and he wouldn't get injured very easily. So that would really help us, I think. So I think that Smoke is one good option for this explosives expert position. But yeah, let's take a look at some other guys. Yeah, this Doc would also be a very good choice for our doctor position. But basically, yeah, well, he has 3 of these medical supply boxes. He has a medical kit and 2 first aid kits, so that would be a little bit better than the what Needle had. But other than that, I think that Doc is just maybe a little bit worse a doctor than this Needle, because his medical skill isn't as good as all, and also his dexterity is lower, so he's just not as competent as a doctor. And I also think that his wisdom is lower. He's a little bit better marksman, if I remember correctly, but it doesn't really play a big role in the decision of our doctor, so yeah, I just don't think that Doc is going to be as good doctor choice for us as this Needle. And his salary is almost as high, so it doesn't really matter that much. But if you want us to hire Doc for some mystical reason, then maybe we could do that as well. And let's take a look at some other choices that we might take. Well, we could of course hire someone like Butt, because he can be a relatively competent field medic, but or not really competent, but some kind of field medic, I guess. But yeah, someone like that could also be a viable choice for us. Moses, he has some medical skill, but yeah, he's kind of expensive and not really the best possible choice. Barney is very good at medical skill, but other than that, I think that he's not a very good choice, because he's too expensive, and his dexterity and agility are just very poor. So even though he has some marksmanship skill, I really don't think that this Barney would be a good choice for as a field medic, to work as a field medic. And yeah, I just don't think that he's as good as Needle. So let's take a look at some other guys. Fiddle would of course be a good explosives expert, but I don't think that he's going to be willing to come with us anymore.
I know you'd want me back, but I no go back!
Yeah. So these guys, they won't forgive me for ever for kicking them out of my team. Yeah, so and Fox is also a good choice, of course, but yeah, she doesn't want to come back either, I guess.
I just started my career, and I intend to have one. Metavera seems way too risky right now.
Yeah, of course. And you actually stole my items. I'm still very irritated about that. Okay, and Sydney, well, he's just way too expensive for us at this point. He has some medical skill, but yeah, he's just way too expensive, so we can't really hire him. And we don't even consider Mike, and yeah, Cliff, I think that he would be actually a pretty good choice, at least in the future, but I think that he's still a little bit angry for us for getting rid of Sparky's corpse.
Don't bother to call anymore. I heard what you did to the cadaver of my good pal, Specky.
Yeah, so he's not going to be joining us anytime soon. Okay, and yeah, Stella is also very good at medical skills, so let's see if she would be willing to join us.
You're fighting a cause I believe in. Of course I'll go.
Yeah, so she would be willing to join, but of course her salary is kind of high. And Eli is one possible choice as well. I mean, his medical skill is pretty good, and he's also relatively cheap, so let's ask him.
I'll be there shortly.
Yeah, so he would also be willing to join. Okay, and okay, Wolf also is he's kind of a jack of all trades. He can do this medical stuff, and he also has some explosive and some mechanical skill, and some marksmanship skill, and his abilities are pretty good. But yeah, maybe we could use him as a field medic, but he's not really good enough to work as a real doctor. And Skits is actually someone who could also work as an explosives expert, even though he's not as good with explosives as this Smoke is. But he's very, very cheap, so basically we wouldn't need to be worrying about him ever costing more than maybe 200. And yeah. And even though he wouldn't be able to disarm these traps, but at least we could have some fun seeing him blow up, trying to disarm some traps. So we could also hire this sketch if you would like to see some fireworks. And yeah, let's see if we have any other options here. Magic.
I'm in. Metavera is going to be a piece of cake.
Magic is just way too expensive for us right now, but in the future we might hire him. And Mitch?
Off South America, huh?
Yeah, he's not willing to come with us just yet. And yeah, Bob also has some medical skill. He's also quite competent at shooting, and he's very good wisdom. So he would potentially become a very, very good mercenary in the future. But he's also not good enough to work as a full-time medic. So that's all the mercenaries that would fit these positions. And actually I have another question for you guys also. I mean, in addition to this explosives expert and medical expert, we also have another question that I was thinking. Because I have been looking at Speck's salary for some time already. I mean, we're paying him something like $840 per day, which is kind of high price for, you know, just this kind of at-home mechanic. So I was actually thinking that maybe we could either just fire Speck. Or another alternative, of course, would be to, you know, arrange an accident. So what that means is that we would take Speck in our daily mission with other guys, and then just maybe we send him to disarm some booby traps, or maybe he can go like for a relaxing swimming trip somewhere where there's a lot of snakes, or yeah, do something like that. And then he would like get killed by accident, of course, and after that we could bury his corpse, and no one would get mad at us for, you know, because it was, you know, like just an accident during this kind of mission. So yeah, that would be another way to get rid of this kind of unwanted material that Speck has become now. And then after we would have gotten rid of Speck, we could hire some maybe a little bit cheaper alternative for this kind of mechanic work. So let's see. For instance, Elroy is actually one alternative. And I actually already checked how good mechanic this Elroy actually is. And when he equips this toolkit and starts repairing items, he's actually able to repair almost as much as Speck is currently repairing. I think that there was like a 5-point difference, that Speck is able to repair 5 points more. But I mean, that kind of difference, it is not significant in any way. And since Elroy costs $500 less per day, so I think that in the long run it would be very beneficial for us to have Elroy instead of Speck as our mechanic. But again, this question is also up to you, my viewers. You can decide. Do we get rid of Speck, or do you like this rather nerdy mechanical guy, or yeah, or do you just absolutely despise him? And does it suit your malicious needs to get rid of this guy? Okay, but yeah, we could certainly hire Elroy. But other than that, I don't really have any other questions, but now you can just think about these questions. Which explosives expert do we hire, and which doctor do we hire, and also do we get rid of Speck and hire some other mechanical guy as his substitute. So I will not continue this video any further. I will end the video here, and you guys can think these questions, and we will maybe have a couple of days time to figure out which guys we're going to be hiring, and then we will make these we'll make these decisions in the next video. But I will end the video here, and we will see in the next video. But until then, take care.